The greatest father in history versus the greatest son of today. This matchup has been on my mind for a while, and I think it's quite underrated as both characters have a lukewarm relationship with their parent and child, which is similar in a weird way. They both would hate each other's ideals since Yujiro had a son who kept growing to surpass him while Gon chose another route. So let's just say, what if Yujiro joined the Chimera Ant operation, considering it was a global crisis, and as Gon was finishing Pito, Yujiro spots him and gets intrigued. Seeing the change in Gon's physiques and aura, he abandons the mission and is rather interested in testing him out. And Gon, being high on power, would not refuse the hostility coming from Yujiro. So how will they pair up against each other, considering they both lean towards physicality and pure strength and speed? But before that, if you wish for more videos like this and other various content, be sure to like the video please and subscribe to support the channel. More heat on the way, so your time and support is very much appreciated. Thank you.
強くなりたくば食らえ。あくまで食らえ。飽き果てるまで食らえ。食らって食らって食らい尽くせ。バカな。
So when we are scaling Gon, or to be more precise, adult Gon, even though we did not get to see his full potential, he still said he poured everything on Pito, which can mean that's his full aura, but yet we did not witness what his true peak is. However, Pito stated that this version of Gon is a threat to the king. Not necessarily an equal to him, but rather a threat. So for the sake of this matchup, we will put him in a relative position to that of Netero and the other high tiers, starting off with his speed. Speed in HunterxHunter is quite weird. Characters are shown on many occasions dodging and reacting to bullets, but then again the other was showing Netero, who was close to his prime, breaking the sound barrier without Nen, which is weird considering many characters did the same thing and they can't even pair up to him. So we will highball Gon for the sake of this matchup, ignoring the inconsistency. To put it simply, Corpse Puppet Vito was slightly faster than Kamoro Killua, who barely saved Gon's life and still lost his arm while moving at lightning speed, which puts her at massively hypersonic. Or in another instance, Netero slapped Pito while falling from Zeno's dragon, which was calced to Mach 275 as a high end. Same goes for Netero's hundreds of thousands attacks in less than a minute against Miriam, which was also calced to Mach 154, putting all these feats on massively hypersonic. Now again, there are two lines of speed scaling in HunterxHunter, but in my opinion this is more consistent since Netero was outspeeding Pito, who performed massively hypersonic feats as well. So since I said adult Gon is relative to the high tiers, in my humble opinion he should be massively hypersonic. Moving on to his attack potency, we shall take a look at Yuppie's ranging blast feat, which was calced to 467 kilotons of TNT. Or shall I say large town level of AP, and since Gon one-shot Pito with relative ease, who is said to be the strongest royal god, thus we conclude that she scales higher than Yuppie. So you see, Gon being large town level is very accurate, with the high end being between small city and city level of AP when he is amped with his Nen abilities, although it lacks feats so far. But considering he is way stronger than Pito, it's not far from the truth, since a city level of attack was fatal threat to pre-Rose Miriam. Lastly, I won't be including all the Nen abilities, but I would like to mention Gon's signature move such as Jajenken, where he pours all his aura into one fatal blow that one-shot all his opponents so far when it's fully charged, or a scissor to slash through and that one rage blast for a paper. Although the most efficient one is Rock Punch, since his fighting style heavily relies on hand-to-hand combat and physicality, so the rest won't really matter for this fight specifically. With that out of the way, how will the ultimate great hunter rock his way with Yujiro? The strongest creature in all of humanity. So strong even someone who used to go toe-to-toe with dinosaurs can't reach his heights. The idea of defeating him can never cross the mind of a normal person, unless you are his son or a madman. When we scale Yujiro in terms of speed, we have to pay attention to certain points, such as we have no official translation of the manga. So the only reliable source we have is the anime, and because of that, some feats tend to be contentious. Like the Katsumi hats, that is confirmed to have a minimum speed of 1000 miles per minute or Mach 78, which is indeed a false translation unfortunately. You see, in the anime, what the Kakokayo said, if you want to accelerate the move, any number of joints can be added. In other words, if Katsumi wanted to go faster, or anyone really, they should imagine having as many joints as they can to break the sound barrier, be it 1000 or 100 of joints, and nothing was mentioned about 1000 miles per minute. On another instance, some people believe that Pickle tanked the meteor, which is far from the truth. You see, it was actually stated the meteor froze everyone in its radius, and nothing about Pickle tanking it was mentioned. Lastly, Baki mentioning his jab is at the speed of light, and that is all quite inaccurate. You see, the next chapter, literally the first panel, we are met with a flashback from Yujiro training Baki, telling him all these titles such as the speed of light or the Mach speed are all mere titles and not actually true. Essentially, the meaning of this panel is that he was telling him to imagine his jab as fast as light, or to believe in his speed, in other words. So it can essentially exceed the speed of that of a normal human perception. So when we scale Yujiro in terms of speed, all we have really is the fact that he was stated he could dodge lightning with his guard down, which was calced to Mach 350, in other words massively hypersonic. Keep in mind that is also a bit controversial, it sparked many arguments in the community, however I shall include it because Baki's creative feats are partially statements. We all know the Baki narrator can solo fiction, however that is Baki's serious element, it's like the norm. If the narrator was a rapper, he raps what he saw and he doesn't cap, at least most of the time. Also for the sake of this fictional fight. Moving on to his AP, if we take into account Yujiro's feats such as stopping Earthquake with his punch that was calced to 482 kilotons of TNT. While the feat is debatable since the author stated Yujiro believes he can stop the Earthquake with his punch, he never doubted himself, which means the Earthquake stopped coincidentally as Yujiro punched the ground. But we all know if Yujiro believes it, he can achieve it, so it's up to you to believe it or not, without mentioning his punch that is stated to be as strong as a nuclear impact, and he is also getting stronger every minute and every second he breathes. So if we include all that, Yujiro being large down level and likely higher when he is amped with his back, that level of AP is legit. Lastly, I want to talk about Yujiro's special abilities. Alongside his perfect mastery of martial arts, he is able to copy any technique he sees without mentioning his enhanced senses, enabling him to sense and react to any dangerous attack. He can also detect physical conditions and weakness in a person with 100% accuracy just by looking at them. Adding to that his insane durability as he can tank a thunder strike casually. He can also tense all his muscles to negate pain from the damage he withstands, which honestly is very crazy. With that being said, how do you think this fight would go? Stick around and find out. Now, although the fight might be really close, it all depends on how you look at it. You see, even though Gon has a rough edge over Yujiro in terms of destructive capacity, we have to consider the important aspect that determines the winner, and the most important one is speed. Since they are similar in terms of speed, so that means it could fall either way, with both of them dodging each other's attacks until Gon slowly overpowers him since he has the better AP, right? Well, here where it gets a little tricky. We have to note that there is a second crucial factor that could determine the winner, and that is endurance and battle experience and IQ. In my opinion, Yujiro outclassed Gon regarding these aspects. The same man could legit walk carefree while being hit with lightning, adding to his pain negating techniques, and of course, Shao Li that makes him really hard to beat. Even when it comes to battle IQ and experience, Yujiro is in a league of his own. As we know, even when he is overpowered in a sense, he resorts to techniques and never takes any unnecessary risk. He would for sure sense the danger in Gon's Jajanken and would never let a fully charged one hit him, ultimately using Gon's openings when he is charging his attack against him, using his wide pool of technique and experience, but still it would be really close. He would come out with the largest grin he ever had, commending Gon for being the son he never had. Though I would like to point out that the feats that grant him the win are still a bit contentious and debatable. So if we don't include them, Gon takes this mid-diff, but at the end of the day, this is for fun. With that being said, I would like to thank you so much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as me making this. Please be sure to check out more, and thank you. Stay safe out there. Peace.